The late addition of these remarks today and the way they were delivered, he also answered a couple of questions that we'll talk about in a moment, really speak to the pressure that he's been facing on this issue.
Well, you're right, Joe. He really is under a lot of pressure when it comes to the whole question of, this war in the Mideast that is now entering its seventh month. And we're seeing that a lot of that pressure is coming from within his own party. We're seeing progressives and especially younger voters, black voters, Muslim Americans and Arab Americans are growing increasingly concerned that the administration is not doing enough to try to get a ceasefire and not doing enough to support the Palestinians who've been suffering so much during this conflict.
And yet the president knows those concerns well. And when asked today during that press conference if he was going to change his policy toward Israel, he had a one-word answer: no.
That was his out-the-door response. He was shouted that question as he was leaving. And this signals that the president is not veering from his long-standing support of Israel, even as he indicates that he wants to let the protesters know their voices are being heard. He wants them to be heard in an orderly fashion, too. He is looking at this as an electoral issue on two fronts, because this chaos is also hurting him with voters on the other side of the coin, voters who, suburban women and others who might be thinking, Donald Trump might be the guy who could offer that. On the flip side, though, back to the progressives and younger voters that I just mentioned, they're looking at this and wondering, well, where's Joe Biden for me? Is he doing enough for me on student loans? Is this issue going to be one that hurts my enthusiasm and reduces my incentive to vote for him in November?
That's why that curt answer really jumped out at all of us. Mike, no. There was no nuance. It was just no on whether you're going to change your policy, or we should add dispatch the National Guard to college campuses. Is he banking on a ceasefire and America's short memory?
Well, he is also counting on the effort that he and his team have been putting into trying to get a ceasefire. Antony Blinken he's been in the region. He has been trying to work this out. They have spent enormous amounts of diplomacy and political capital to try to get the Israelis and Hamas to come to some sort of an agreement on a ceasefire, which would be essential to not only stopping the violence, but to getting some humanitarian aid in there. And it's really turned into such a crisis on the ground there.
Mike, of course, you've covered this White House and prior White Houses for years, but you also are the senior editor now of our technology and strategic industries coverage. And we have some pretty important reporting here at Bloomberg today in that realm. Huawei, which, of course, is a Chinese company that's blacklisted in the U.S., according to our reporting, has been secretly funding research at American universities. Walk us through that story. How could this possibly have happened?
Well, what Huawei did is it worked with a scientific foundation based here in Washington to sponsor a competition for research. They funded the competition and its prizes, which awarded money to academics from around the country, including some prestigious American institutions that otherwise are proscribed or have rules against receiving money from Huawei. Remember, the company has been in the crosshairs from the U.S. government over national security concerns for more than a decade. And really, in the last several years, a lot of restrictions have been put into place. And many of these academic institutions now want more disclosure of the foreign funding that their researchers receive. And the concern is that while the arrangement in question didn't violate any particular government rules, it violated the spirit of disclosure, and it also put these universities in a bit of a tight spot.
It certainly did. Michael, I just wonder, after the TikTok bill just became law, is there going to be an answer from the China Select Committee here or from the administration?
Well, I think we should be listening to what the China Select Committee has to say on this. This story will take a little bit of time to digest. It was an extraordinary piece of reporting by our colleague Kate O'Keefe, and a lot of credit to her for sleuthing this out. And we're going to be, I would expect, hearing from many of the members of Congress and perhaps even the administration on where this goes next.
All right, Bloomberg's Mike Shepard, thank you so much. And again, this Huawei piece is a terrific piece of reporting. You can find that on the Bloomberg terminal or online. Now we want to turn to the trial of Donald Trump, which resumed in New York City this morning after a break yesterday. Here's what the former president had to say upon entering today.
We went to Wisconsin and Michigan yesterday. We had tremendous rallies, sold-out rallies. They were packed, and the enthusiasm's never been better. So that was a great thing, and it was nice to be able to campaign one day without being in this ridiculous show trial.
Bloomberg's Sara Forden is joining us now. She leads our legal coverage here in Washington. So, Sara, today was a kind of unique day in court in that it wasn't just witness testimony. We also heard once again about gag order violations that the former president has allegedly committed. Already, he's been fined $9,000 for 9 other violations. We heard about fresh ones today. Is this just going to keep coming, and how quickly could the judge rule on that?
Yeah, so the hearing started off today with the judge considering 4 different gag order violations, and he heard testimony on both sides, talking to the lawyers. The main witness here who Trump is debunking is Michael Cohen, who is also expected to be the star witness in the case. Trump's lawyers, on the other hand, say Michael Cohen has been criticizing Trump on social media himself, so he's not the classical witness who needs protection. But the judge is being very careful about this. He wants to weigh his decision, and he will rule at any time in the coming days.
We certainly saw that in the last case. It was $1,000 a pop. I presume that'll be the same case this time, Sara. But then again, this is the same judge who threatened jail time, or as he put it, incarceratory punishment. And I wonder at what point might his patience wear too thin for this?
Well, at this point, the prosecutors are actually saying they're not asking for jail time. So we're back to the $1,000K, per violation. The prosecutors want to make sure this trial can move forward. And so if Trump gets thrown into jail, that would stymie the trial itself. So they're not going there right now.
And in the meantime, prosecutors, of course, have continued to question witnesses. We've seen the defense do that as well. We've been hearing testimony that seems like it's trying to establish a case of whether or not ultimately this was about politically helping Trump in 2016. One witness who was on the stand today talks about what have we done when the 2016 election was revealed and they realized they may have helped aid Trump in this effort. How should we think about the testimony that we've already heard and how it is going to inform or with the testimony we will hear later, bring this case together for the prosecution?
I mean, this is a key element of this case because, right, Bragg is trying to show that this wasn't just paying off, to kill a story. This was absolutely critical to the election that showed Trump into the White House. And so the what have we done moment, these were texts that Stormy Daniels, the porn star who, story was bought and buried, her lawyer was exchanging texts with an editor of the National Enquirer after they'd killed the story, after the election results came in, and they're saying, what have we done? Were we, critical to the election of Donald Trump?